Okay, I guess anyone who is starting something, you always want to start with really big case. You want to start with a good results. You want to make it good. You want something good, big, and you are not even considering limitations. And in my case, it is about time. And why I'm talking about this, you will understand at the end of the story. So, actually, when I started my dental practice, I guess anyone want to start with full mouth rehabilitation. Like everybody want to do full mouth rehabilitations, but the maximum I was doing in a daily basis, it was like 2 teeth in a row for one patient. But just a few months, and then I have a patient who wanna make some ceramic restorations, IMAX restorations, some direct restorations, some hygiene, icon therapy, and she is accepting the treatment plan that I'm offering, and she is accepting the price, and I'm like, oh man. And you are feeling you are nervous. You are like feeling the responsibility. You want to make it like on a high level, and it is not about you don't want to make it on another level for other people. But when you are doing several teeth for one person, it is different, especially when you are doing it the first time. So I was waking up every day and coming to the clinic to make this treatment plan. And there is one point, she is leaving the country forever and she has no plans to come back to the country because she is not the citizen of this country, and she has no anybody in this country. So she is living with her husband to another country, and our country was just the terminal. So we have a limited time, but I am not considering it. And I'm like, because actually it is possible to do this job, but me as a beginner for manipulations spent a little bit more time. And I was impressed, I was amazed. I'm like, oh wow, I'm doing this stuff. But you need to understand, like, it is not about you want to do big case, but you need to be also ready to do the big cases emotionally, physically, and psychologically, because times go and I really understood that it takes time, that you need to get used to do big cases. It is not that easy. So there were some special moments in treatment, because when it comes to indirect IMAX restorations, we did it digitally, and because of the features of her mouth, capturing the last tooth was not that easy. The scanner was just didn't get it, and I was doing last 2 tooth, so you can see them in a photo. I prepared these tools, and technician was working on IMAX restoration, and while the laboratory was working, we were working with direct restorations, hygiene, and icon therapy. And actually after icon therapy, I get so much emotional satisfaction, because it was the first time when I was doing icon therapy, and I talked with her about that. It is my first time, and I was not offering her a magic pill. I told her, like, I will do it the first time, and if you're ready, I guess it will work, because it is the treatment of this case. So, and she was totally fine. And after the icon case, I was like, oh man, look at this, amazing. And no, so a very interesting point is in her last appointment, because IMAX restorations was ready on the last day. So she is leaving today in 2 or 3 a.m. and her image restorations are coming at 6 p.m. And we started isolating and all of this stuff. And because of the anatomical features of the mouse, there were difficulties on isolation. It took me some time. And after isolation, I tried in image restorations, but they are not fitting. I'm not getting the situation. Now, wait a second. What? Because, can you imagine? We have no time to make it again, to correct it. So, I'm looking at the teeth. I'm like, oh, what I'm gonna do? Because they are not fitting. And after a few hours, she is flying out. And I'm calling the technician. I'm telling, bro, we have some problems. It is not fitting. And he's like, yeah, no way. Because like if you try it on the models, they're totally matching. And I'm like, no, I can't understand. Is it our work? And he's like, oh, okay, I'll be here. And while I was waiting, I waited maybe 5 or 10 minutes, but this 5 or 10 minutes was like decade for me, because I'm just staring at the window and I'm looking for my technician, like, so where is he? And in my mind, I'm like, oh, I gotta go direct. I gotta go direct because we will not catch up. It is like 9 or 10 o'clock p.m. So she need to leave to the airport. It is too late. And technician comes and he looks and he's like, there's something different. And it comes up that when I was doing scanning, because of her anatomical features, not all of the teeth were in a scan. So when he printed a model, I have seen last tooth. Last tooth on the model was not last tooth in the mouse, but I isolated the last tooth in the mouse because I have seen last tooth on the model, and I forgot that there's one tooth missing, and that made me a lot of problems. So you need to understand that when you are nervous, when you are rushing the situation, you will forget some moments. There will be some disappointments. And I had to do isolation again. So it took me a little bit faster. I guess I did in a half an hour because I was just beginning the case. I'm just at the very beginning of my knowledges and skills, so it takes me a lot of time to make a decent isolation, and we fixed it. And at the end of this case, I was really exhausted, emotionally, physically. It is midnight and she's hungry, me hungry, everybody is hungry. And to be honest, it was my first case that I have finished, and big case that I have finished by myself. Oh, and I've done a job for 1,000, my first 1,000, and it was tough because after 2 or 3 hours, the patient should leave the country, and they are living forever, and they are living for so far. They are going to Argentina, and I had so short period of time, so technician was doing extremely fast, me trying to do extremely fast. I've done so many teeth, it was like we have done almost 10 teeth in just a few days, and we have done big we have done a lot of procedures, treatment, onlays and inlays, and restorative and icon, and a lot of job have been done, and now like I finished my case. I delivered my case just few hours before the patient leaves the country. My first big case, my first 1,000, and my first so rush. Thank you guys. The moral of the story is, it is not about doing big cases. It is not about like you want to be a cool guy who makes full mouth rehabilitations. Yes, you will do it, but you gotta get used to, and you gotta do it like step by step. And I'm not even telling to not take the risks and not challenge yourself, but you gotta be responsible for the result, because in her case, can you imagine if I failed? Whew! Share your big story. And thank you. See you in the next video.